Good evening. Is it evening or is it officially nighttime? Whatever. It's 8 o'clock here, so if you're on the East Coast, it's nighttime. So good night. Good night to every one of you on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, it's like still evening time. I know it's really weird, especially me. I travel a lot, so it's often hard to keep track of what time I can call my mom. Because if I'm in Los Angeles or somewhere on the West Coast and I call my mom at 7 o'clock, it's damn near 10 o'clock at that point. So anyways, this is the Acai TV YouTube page and the Acai TV Facebook page. I think this is on my personal page as well. If you have not subscribed to this network, I know I'm a 48-year-old man saying, hey, like and subscribe. But yeah, it's really important actually, because this is a monetized YouTube page. I got my first check from YouTube, and it was very nice. So please, if you don't mind, we do super chats, we do all kinds of stuff. You can join memberships, and all of that stuff is growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, just like Acai TV. You know how I know that? Because I got stickers in the mail today, blammo. And we got stuff. I'm going to talk about this in a little minute. The Super Ultra Mega Con. These stickers look amazing, by the way, and they're really good stickers too. So more stuff to the van. When you like and this video, if you like it, I don't care if you like it or not, but if you like it and you subscribe to this YouTube page, I always forget what side the phone camera is on. I'm doing this with my phone. It's easier, and it's literally just as good as my stuff that costs thousands of dollars. But if you do check out this YouTube page, which is like the doormat for Acai TV, it's free, of course, YouTube, whatever. But make sure you check out the YouTube show that I've been doing. It's basically everything pertaining to not only Acai TV, but my personal life as well. It's like it's like 26 episodes out right now. It's called the Acai TV Life. It's right here on this YouTube page. It's also on Acai TV. You can watch it free on Acai TV as well. And it's just been everything, all the travels, all the journeys, a lot of the stuff I'll be talking about here. And so much more, like friends, family, rock stars, wrestling stars. There's so much stuff on there, man. I mean, I look back on it, and we just started filming it in November. So, and there's already 26 episodes. We do like 2 a week. Every Monday and Friday, I release another one. And I have like stuff already filmed until February. I got to do new stuff, and that's kind of what I'm doing now. But I like to mix it up with a little bit of a live stream here and there, and that's what we're doing right now. I have a podcast called the Brandon Bishop Podcast. You can listen to that wherever you listen to podcasts. And every time I do it, I always ask people for questions. And like without hesitation, I always get the question, what have been some of your favorite adventures? Where are your favorite places to film? What's some of your favorite road stories and memories and stuff like that? So I figured I wouldn't just give you a couple of them. I'd give you my top 20. My top 20 Acai TV road trips. Because we have shows in every single corner of the country, literally. I think the only place I haven't really explored is like Minnesota and New England. I know, New England is like a given. I'm going to hit there this year for sure. I know we're doing Go There, Eat That there. I think we're going to do some stuff with the Bennetts up there because that's where Mike Bennett's from. I'm hoping. We've talked about it. So yeah, we're going to definitely conquer New England, but Minnesota and Wisconsin is the other one. Are the only two other states I've never been to, like in my life. Minnesota sounds fun. Wisconsin, we can make it fun, whatever. But the Acai TV Live show is following me. I'm filming that everywhere that I go. And the podcast, like I said, I always get that question. So, but there's a couple things actually. Before I get into the list, I'm over here skipping things. Ring of Honor. They've been going through some trying stuff lately, and I was in Baltimore and I was in Philadelphia with Mike and Maria, and they brought me in to film a documentary, all the behind-the-scenes stuff about the women's championship tournament that they had, which was great. It was and I'm going to talk about that as well in this whole thing. I got notes everywhere, so if I'm looking around, that's why. But anyways, it's on YouTube now. If you look up Ring of Honor Women's, this is women's wrestling. I filmed that, and I'm very proud of it. A guy named Zane Decker is I actually filmed it and didn't have to edit it. It's like, oh, thank you, Zane. He put it together. It did a fantastic job, man. It's so good to see someone else use my footage. I've never filmed anything that I myself didn't edit and produce, so it's really cool. I would hire this Zane guy with Ring of Honor. I would steal him from Ring of Honor if I could afford him. Great job. So please check that out on YouTube as well. The Ring of Honor, This is Women's Wrestling. And also, like I mentioned a second ago, this is becoming a major reality. It's taken up my life at this point for the last however long. June 18th, 19th, here in Colorado Springs, ASY TV is doing its own Comic-Con. Let me say that again. ASY TV, the network that you know and love, is doing its own Comic-Con at the Colorado Springs Event Center on June 18th, 19th. I'm going to leave it there for now, because if you want to know more, go to acytv.com/SUMC, SUMC, which stands for Super Ultra MegaCon. The amount of work that I've put into it in the last week, not to mention ASY TV, not to mention all the YouTube stuff, not to mention being a dad and a cat owner of a very needy cat, not to mention this life, not to mention all the TV shows. I'm not bragging. I'm not putting myself over here, but holy crap, it's been an insane little adventure. Like I didn't have enough on my plate. Like I wasn't wearing enough hats. I'm deciding to put on a freaking sombrero and eat a big plate of nachos. This is crazy. And I'm loving every second of it. So don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining at all. Stephen Piercy is coming back. I want to mention him a little bit in this list as well. Stephen Piercy, the first episode of Loving You is a Dirty Job will be on ASY TV, and it's a matter of weeks. It's almost done. I'm pretty blown away that it's almost done. And then before you know it, I'll be in Vegas and LA at the Whiskey again, which I'll also talk about here in a second, filming another episode. And then we got 2 more booked after that. So Loving You is a Dirty Job with Stephen Piercy, the singer of Rat, the iconic voice. Are you kidding me? One of my childhood heroes. It's coming back to ASY TV. The documentary, Nothing to Lose, is already on ASY TV. It's getting rave reviews. They love it. Everyone on it loves it. I love it. You love it. Get ASY TV now. This right here is how you do that. It's only $5 a month, 17 cents a day. That's less than a cup of Starbucks once a month. So cut out the Starbucks once a month. Don't get that big creamy icy frappuccino with all the sugar and caramel and everything. I'm on the carnivore diet right now. I just lost 20 pounds and that doesn't even sound good anymore. Get rid of 1 coffee a month. It's $5 a month to get ASY TV. If you don't have it right now, why are you watching me? It's like we should be like, what's going on? Just get the damn network already. Watch Nothing to Lose. Watch Loving You is a Dirty Job with Stephen Piercy. It's all about their home life and what's happening now. And I got to follow them to Santee. I'll talk about that in a second. What else is going on? I told you about the ASY TV life. Told you about the stickers. ASY TV itself, the network, is getting a major upgrade, a big old-fashioned facelift really soon. Our developer, Mike Moore, is incredible. Just talked to him yesterday, last night, whatever. There's going to be pay-per-views, first-run movies where people can, get ASY TV for $5 a month, just like getting basic cable and then having to get HBO on top of it. You pay $2 for it and you get first-run movies. And there's a lot of them I have my mind on already to add to ASY TV. There'll be a live stream, so you can and the live stream is going to be free. There'll be ads on it, but it'll be free. And you can just watch ASY TV anytime you want on the website, on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, whatever, Apple TV, all of this, and more platforms are coming as well. And it's going to look and feel and play, and the subscription process, thankfully, is going to be way better and easier for you. So get it now, see what we have, and then when it upgrades, you'll be like, wow, because I seen shots of it, and I'm like, wow. So it's going to be elevated to the extreme, so to speak. ASY TV 2.0 coming at you in just a few months, man. This is the year. This is 2022. It's always cheesy and just symbolic to say, oh, it's a new year, it's a new day, it's a new this, it's a new that. It's going to be our year this time. But I really, maybe it won't be this year. Maybe it'll be next year. Oh man, it's just water, people. Man, God. Anyways, let's get into this list, the top 20, and I'm going to fire through these. I mean, some I'll spend a little bit more time on, but I'm going to try to get this whole thing done in like 20 minutes. So that gives me a minute per road trip, right? And again, I've been in every corner of this country with camera in hand, with a host of just amazing people, getting to tell their stories, getting to tell other people's stories, getting to just have adventure after journey after adventure. This is the life that I built for myself. I'm very proud of it, and I'm very proud of everything that I put on this list. So let's go with number 20. I don't even know who's watching. You guys, well, yeah, I got stuff. I got yeses. I got diet skinny ass carnivore diet has me drooling. It does, yeah. The funny, and I don't want to go off on a side about that. Research it if you need to lose a few weights. If you need to lose a few weights, research it. I'm having a good time with it. I eat nothing but really meat, a little bit of cheese, and water and coffee are the only other things that go inside of my body besides like a multivitamin a day. And my blood pressure, which was super high to the point of hypertension, has been regulated for a week. And I've only been on this thing for 2 weeks, people. 2 weeks. And I've lost, I went from 255 to 238. So what's that, 17 pounds? My face is going out. I have energy out the whatever I can have energy out of. And if you need to lose some weight and you really want to correct things, it's a restrictive diet. I'm also doing intermittent fasting. So I don't eat till 1 o'clock, and I don't eat after 8 o'clock, which it's 8 o'clock now. So I just missed my last meal. But I only want to eat. I'm not hungry at all. Once in a while, I'll be like, hey, I want to eat some pizza. I would love to have some sugar in my life. But it just kind of goes like that. So anyways, try it out. Let's get to the list. At number 20, Chantel Danga, if you're listening, I love you. You're one of my favorite people. We've been on a lot of adventures together, but the very first one that we went on at 20 was Ouray. Is it Ouray or Ouray? Damn it, I messed it up then, and I'm messing it up now. I think it's Ouray, Colorado. It was the first episode of A Call to Adventure featuring Chantel, and she's an addictive personality. She's just, when I saw her like on a video of another friend, like I said, in the least creepy way I could muster, I was like, who is that? Like, she just has like the personality. She just owned it. Like, and I was like, okay, I need to know that person, because I have an eye for talent, and talent is not even the word to describe Chantel. Anyways, we went to Ouray, Colorado, which is up in the mountains. We filmed her doing ice climbing, and it was just unbelievable. I never even heard of people climbing ice with like things and hatchets and like crampons. I learned what a crampon is. If you don't know what a crampon is, it's like a boot that has spikes on it. And anyway, so I had a really good time with her. I also filmed an episode of Go There Eat That. It's all on ASY TV. So please check all of this stuff. Everything on this list is on ASY TV. And that was fun. We filmed at the 737 Brick House and a coffee shop and a chocolate shop. And I just had a really good time, and we got to know each other. We did some vapor caves and stuff like that. So Ouray, Colorado, get out there. It's a lot of fun. And check out that episode. Number 19, New Orleans in Louisiana. It was like the 5th time I've been there at this point. But it was just it was a lot of fun because I was with my son, who basically slept the entire time. But it was still cool. We got to go around the French Quarter together. I got to show him just another culture. And yes, French Quarter, New Orleans, totally a different culture from wherever you're from, unless you're from New Orleans. I was also there with my ex-girlfriend and her daughter, Ayana and Ayan, who I just reconnected with, and we started doing more episodes of Too Sweet. This is before my kid had a show, but we filmed, she used to be the host of the Drake Ayan Cruise, and we filmed the New Orleans episode, which was just fan-freaking-tastic. I had such a good time doing that when we got to go to the NOLA Brewery and watch the episode. I can't tell you everything that we filmed. And her daughter filmed at Cafe du Monde, which is a place that sells beignets, and for her show Too Sweet, which again we just reconnected and filmed 2 new episodes down in Florida just a month and a half ago. So that was awesome, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later anyways. But number 19 was the trip. Oh, and my friend Nita, who I'm working a lot with her social media stuff and YouTube stuff. Check out Nita Marie, Christian OnlyFans model. She's awesome, dude. Let me tell you, she's a really good friend and super smart business lady, Nita. But she was on that trip as well. We actually took her van, and it was one of the times there was 5 of us in a van, and it was plenty of room in the back to sleep, and it was a 20-hour drive each way, and that's one of the first times I fell in love with van life, which when I'm on the road, I sleep in my van, I work in my van, I live in my van. So uh, yeah, I'm going to get to that, more of that stuff later as well. Number 18, the Great Taco Tour of 2017 with Garrett Kuhn, the host of Lost in America. I think this is before Lost in America came out. Yes, it is. We were just filming Go There Eat That, my show, where I just travel around the country eating things. But we stopped in Phoenix first, and we ate at the Taco Guild, which was life-changing. The lamb and blue cheese taco. Yeah, it doesn't sound good on paper, but fabulous. And I'm sorry if I can't keep up with your stuff here, people. If you do a super chat or something like that, then I'll definitely see you. Hello and hi, ASY TV, yeah, baby. We stopped in Phoenix. The first taco tour place was the Taco Guild, which is like 100-year-old church that they turned into a taco gastropub and a bar. Fantastic. I've been there like 5 times since, just to eat. That's how good it is. Next, then we went to San Diego, where we ate at this awesome spot called Lucha Libre Gourmet Tacos. They got a couple locations. We were at the one on the main University Street, whatever it is over there. It's pro wrestling and tacos, and it's some of the best tacos. The queso tacos or the San Diego burrito. Oh my goodness. They bring out so much food on these shoots, and we enjoyed so much food on these shoots. Even like the little nacho thing came in a wrestling ring with like little dips on the outside. Oh my God, so good. I was just there recently when I was filming again with Piercy in San Diego, and I go back to the places that I fall in love with. Anyways, then we went up to Los Angeles. We filmed at another Mexican restaurant called Chichinista, and then another one called Revolucionario Tacos, which the guy, I think they're shut down now, and I hate that because the guy was so awesome. But it was this rundown little hole in the wall, but it was North African tacos. I'm not making this stuff up. Revolucionario Tacos. Look it up. Chichinista was really good too. I'm sure they're still around. Number 17, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. My friend Heather and I met in Gatlinburg to film an episode of Go There Eat That, and we did that. But the main reason this is on the list is because not only is Heather just one of my longest and best friends, but I finally got to meet Vinny and Luke from Wrestling with Ghost, and now, The Hike and WJHC, which is their movie that's coming out soon. Please go see it. It's fantastic. I mean, it shouldn't be as good as it is. WJHC. I don't want to go on a sidebar about it because we'll be here all night, but go look them up. Look up Big and Funky on YouTube. Subscribe, see the trailer. See the damn movie when it comes out. It'll probably be on Amazon like The Hike is. The Hike's good as well, but WJHC is right up my alley. Anyways, we filmed at Frizzle Chicken. We filmed at Hatfields and McCoy's Dinner Feud. We filmed at Local Burrow, where I ate a 5-pound burrito with Luke. And it was just cool meeting those guys again. I met Luke once previous on a different trip, but I love those guys. They're brothers from other mothers, and it's so good to have them in the ASY TV family. And watch Wrestling with Ghosts on ASY TV. It's a fun show. Let's see here. Number 60. And you know what? Oh, it just escaped my brain. But there's another trip that I didn't put on here that I'm like, why isn't that on? And it just flashed in my head. I'll get back to that later if I remember it. Number 16. I grabbed my daughter for the first time for a road trip. And that would have been bad if I paused right there. I grabbed my daughter. That's disgusting. My daughter Charlotte, who I honestly, personal story, I just met like a few years ago. She was a surprise addition to the family that has been just wonderful. And we not only look exactly the same, but we are pretty much the same person to a point where it's weird. Like she's just a clone of, and I'm, it's weird. It's just weird. I could go on again for hours about it. But I grabbed her and we went down to Phoenix again to film with Hillary, and we filmed 2 episodes of The Drink that week. And my favorite part of it was being in Tombstone, Arizona. I've always wanted to go to Tombstone, Arizona. So I booked a show. And that's a cool thing about being in my shoes is I get to go where I want to go and make a TV show out of it, whether it's just a run and gun show or a full-on docu-series, whatever it is. If I want to go there, I'm going to get there, and we're going to document it and capture it and film it, and it's going to be on ASY TV in one show or another. But it was great to see Hillary again. She's so amazing. She didn't do it for like 2 years, and then just gets right back into it and kicks ass. And spending all this time with my daughter was a lot of fun too, just getting to know her. Even though she got like a really bad eye infection on the way back, that like her eye looked like scrambled eggs. It was absolutely freaking disgusting. And I think like a cat hair, one of my cat hairs was on like a pillow or something, got in her eye, and she's allergic to cats. It was the worst thing. Thankfully, it went away by just in a few hours. But felt so bad for her. But great time to spend it with her. Number 15, back to Aeon and Ayana. I took them to Detroit. And got, I was dating her at the time, so she just texted me too. By the way, it's nice. I don't like negativity, man. And it's nice to reconnect with old friends. It's just so cool. And Ayana Cruz, there's Aeon, and then there's Ayana Cruz, mother-daughter. Ayana Aeon's a star. She knows that. But Ayana, the daughter, who's 14 now, and I'm going to talk about her later too, is just a freaking star. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, we did film an episode of Too Sweet up in Frankenmuth, which is my favorite place on earth. I love Frankenmuth. Me and my mom love Frankenmuth, Michigan. If you don't know what Frankenmuth, Michigan is, then go. So we filmed an episode of Too Sweet up there, and we filmed an episode of The Drink with basically so many of my favorite people and places. We filmed at Harpo's with Roosevelt, who was gracious enough to let us in, give us a full tour of the building, stuff I didn't even see when I basically lived there in the 90s. I mean, that was my jam. It was my hangout. I did business there back in Detroit. It's a huge place, and it's so awesome to go. I never thought I'd be in that building again. And I will be in that building again this November to see Wasp, because I'm a Wasp fan. But anyway, so cool to see Ruzi, see that he's healthy and doing good. The club's doing good and still doing good. We got to interview Vinny Dombrowski, who I haven't seen in decades, the singer from Sponge. And we got to go to all kinds of different places. It was just a really fun shoot, and I love that episode. There's other stuff, there's all kinds of stuff. We filmed at the Renaissance Center. I mean, just a fun episode. And I got to hang out with the mom. And I mean, there was Lafayette Coney in that episode. So much. Watch that episode. It's still up. Number 14, my second trip to visit Heath. You may know him as Heath Slater from WWE, but Heath Miller, just Heath from Impact Wrestling. The first time I went up there, it was, you meet the family, and his daughters are the sweetest little angels. Remy and Raz, they're wonderful kids. I love them. His wife Stephanie, who I just saw in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, so cool, just one of the coolest people. But the first time was, it's always awkward the first time. The second time I went up there, we filmed 2 more episodes, and I was more comfortable. I knew them. They're all friends now, and it was really nice. Just talked to them today about Comic-Con stuff, which, by the way, Impact Wrestling, thanks for booking a pay-per-view in the same week as my MegaCon, which is going to cost me about 6 of my guests. Oh, I can take Scott D'Amore. I know I can take him. Anyway, we got to do so much fun stuff. We got to go up to a signing at this cool toy store up in Roanoke. We filmed an episode of Hungry Heath in Roanoke, which is my first time filming in Virginia, which was cool. We got to go to High Spots, which I've been there before with Gallows. It was just a really fun shoot. I think by the time I got home from that shoot, I think I consider Heath a friend now. So that's really cool. It almost didn't happen because I missed my flight. It's the only flight I've ever missed in my life because they had technical issues or something like that. I was really pissed off. I had to spend $400 just to get there, but it was $400 that was well spent. So at number 15 was the Heath House tapings, the second time I went out there. Number 13, Sparkle Nation Road Trip. The first time I ever met Leah Sparkle, Leah Murphy, Ruby Sparkle, whatever you want to call her. She's the host of Sparkle Nation, which is a show about counterculture and fun, creepy stuff all over the country. This trip, I have to spend a minute on it because it was freaking long. It was like 8 or 9 days. We started here in Colorado. We went down to Austin, where I broke my camera light, and then the Museum of the Weird in Austin. Didn't even know we were coming. The owner didn't tell him. So that was an interesting start. And then my shoot for Go There Eat That was a food truck that wouldn't even answer the phone. I had no idea where they were. And then they called back later. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was today. Anyway, so it didn't start off great. Not to mention, as soon as I met Leah, she was chewing her gum very loudly, uh, which I can't. I have audio sensory issues when it comes to that, like almost to autistic levels. I can't deal with loud smacking and hissing and, you know, slurping noise. I can't do it. I love Leah to death. Thankfully, she was amazing. And the gum, she didn't eat that way. It was just gum. And I was like, okay, I had to have a conversation. Never heard a smack since, so thank you for that respect. I appreciate you. But anyways, after Austin, we went down to New Orleans, had a blast there. That's where we met Bloody Mary, where Leah got to do Sparkle Nation with Bloody Mary, who's like the voodoo queen of Los Angeles, New Orleans. I filmed at the Muriel and Juan's Flying Burrito. Then we went down to Florida, where we filmed in Orlando. She did the zombie place. I did all of this stuff. By the way, we filmed 4 episodes of Go There Eat That, and we filmed 5 episodes of Sparkle Nation on this trip. I filmed at the East End Market. We went up to Jacksonville, where I filmed at the BB's Bistro, Daytona Beach, where I filmed at Krabby Joe's. And then we went up to Atlanta, where I filmed at the Bone Garden Cantina. She filmed at the Doll's Head Trail, which is awesome. If you got any questions about any of this stuff, please ask. I know I'm going fast here, but then I went to Hattie B's Hot Chicken in Birmingham. Then we hit Memphis, where she filmed at the Broom Closet, which is like a witch's place, and I filmed at the oldest restaurant in Memphis, the Arcade Restaurant, and a crepe place across the street. Oh my goodness! And then Oklahoma City at Mutt's Awesome Dogs, which was they're not there anymore. Unfortunately, they closed down, but amazing place. Yeah, so that whole trip was just such a blast. That whole round the country thing. I love doing those things. And Leah, we got to get Leah's on this list a lot. I forget how much we've actually traveled together. So yeah, that's awesome. Oh boy, let's see here. Oh, I skipped one. It's okay. They could be interchangeable. Number 12 was Leah again. We rented a van, which is another van life thing. I grabbed my kid. Heather was there. Leah was there. I was filming a Funko Pop show at that point, and it was, God, I think we covered every place, but we filmed a bunch of episodes of the Funko Pop. We filmed in like Eugene, Oregon, and San Francisco. Leah filmed at some religious, like Mormon Goodell place and gardens or something. I can't remember what it was. Gilgal. Oh man, look it up. It's on Sparkle Nation. That was in Salt Lake City, and then she filmed again, which was really cool. We visited all the Goonies movie locations up in Astoria, Oregon, which was great. We saw Haystacks Rock, we saw the jailhouse, we saw the beach, the Cannon Beach, just all the cool spots. Their houses, Data's house. It was, as a Goonies fan, and she's a mega Goonies fan. That was really, really cool. But I have to admit, the coolest thing that we did on that entire trip was my son's show, the BB Oxmauser show, where my friend Matt is a pilot, and like a high-level pilot, like basically an astronaut, and he has planes, and his friends had planes. So we had 3 private planes, and we all were like, Heather was in one filming, Leah was in one filming, and I was with my son Brandon Bishop Jr. In with Matt, and we flew over San Francisco. We flew over the whole city, the Alcatraz, the Golden Gate Bridge, the city itself. We like 3 planes. How does this happen? Like the whole time I'm just like, what kind of life are we living here? So he got to do that, and then we did some amazing little Italian restaurant that was right by the airport to finish off that episode. But please watch that episode. I think that's actually online as well on YouTube. But we'd rather you get ASY TV, $5 a month. Remember, it's right. This is how you do it right here. This is how you do it. Anyways, number 11. Hey, we're going pretty fast. Garrett is one of the original people in ASY TV. Originally, he started doing a show called This Land, which was ill-fated from the start. And I was doing a show called The Angry Show, which was this. He was going around saying nice things about cities, and I was going around bitching about everything. Neither one of those things are on ASY TV anymore. They're very hard to find. I think there's some of them are on YouTube, but you're not going to find them. So I was filming Go There Eat That. We stopped in Amarillo first, and just me and Garrett. And he filmed at first I filmed at the Big Texan where I won the 72-ounce steak challenge on my show, Go There Eat That. I then proceeded to throw up all over the Big Texan gas station bathroom, which I'll never forget. And I've told this story before, but there was a guy in the next stall, and he had this soft cowboy voice, like, and I'm just like, I project out as soon as I open the stall door, Brah! And I cleaned up after myself because that's just what you do. Because I love that place, the Big Texan. We filmed there a ton of times. But I'm sitting here just, I'm throwing up because you don't just eat the steak, you eat the potato, a roll, a salad, and I had like a green bean casserole because I don't like shrimp. But it was craziness. It was absolute craziness. And the guy next to me is just like, boy, you okay? I'll never forget his voice or his inflection. I'll never forget it. And I said, yeah, I just did the steak challenge. He goes, that was you? How was it? I'm sorry. That'll actually always stay in my mind. Anyways, after that, funny enough, I went from that to filming Garrett's Lost in America episode at the Palo Duro Canyon with the lady that owns Cowgirls and Cowboys in the West. So he's on horseback, and we filmed here before too for Gigi's show years prior. But he's on horseback. I'm in a four-wheeler, and I'm still green from the steak. But it was a good shoot. It was just chasing horses around on a four-wheeler with a camera in my hand. Again, what kind of life am I living? And I always say, every single trip, you never know where I'm going to end up. And I say this to myself. I'm not saying you. I'm saying I never know where I'm going to end up or what I'm going to be doing. I have a vague idea, but I never know until I get there. We took the couple hours east to Lawton, Oklahoma, where I had deep roots in Lawton, Oklahoma. I'm through New Mexico all the time, Richard. I was literally just there, and I'll be there next month as well. Anyway, where was I? Oh, we went to Lawton, Oklahoma. I was stationed in the Army in Lawton, Oklahoma at Fort Sill for years and years and years. My guitar player, Dave, who has since passed away. I don't want to go off on that because it's a very touchy subject with me. Love the guy. He was my guitar player for 21 years. Died from complications from food poisoning. It's such a waste. But I'm going to talk about him later. He was there. I wrestled there. That's where ACW wrestling got started. I was a pro wrestler for 20 years. So I am deep roots in Lawton, Oklahoma for some reason. And I just wanted to film there. So I filmed at Mears Store and Restaurant up in the Medicine Park, right on the outskirts of Lawton, which is one of the best burgers you'll ever have in your life. If you're ever in Oklahoma and you don't go to Mears, Meers, Mears Store and Restaurant out there in the Wichita Hills, they're not really mountains. I live in Colorado, and those are not mountains. You got to go there. It's fantastic. I got to meet Joe, the owner, and I've been going there for decades, ever since I got in the Army, ever since I went to Oklahoma in the Army. That's one of the first places I went, and I always went. So it was really good to go back, and I still want to go back, and I will go back. But I got to film there, and he took us to his house, met the cows that would soon become burgers. I kind of felt bad about that. I hope they didn't smell it on my breath. And then we filmed at Wayne's Drive-In, and then we did some stuff with the wrestling company IZW there, which is now defunct, but hopefully someday they come back. But more on Lawton later. That was just a really fun trip with Garrett. Me and Garrett have put on some miles, and I love that guy. He lives in Washington State now, but Lost in America is still a thing. I saw him just last year. And we filmed more episodes, so yeah, check those out as well. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is the trip I was on 3 weeks ago. Like I said, Stephen Piercy's new show is called Loving You is a Dirty Job. It's all about him and Christy and the cats and the dog, Bear, and it's just a surreal thing. Like I said, he's one of my heroes, man. He's one of the reasons I was a singer for so many years and still am. I can never sing like he does, but I can hold my own. Look up One-Eyed Buffalo. That's my band's name. One-Eyed Buffalo. It's on iTunes or wherever you buy music. But Ever see Red Dog about that strip club in Oklahoma? Dude, I stay away from strip clubs in Oklahoma. I stay away from strip clubs, period, because I'm reason I always end up with one of them, and then that's like buying a dog at the mall. You don't want no part of that. So I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love sex workers. You should all respect your local sex worker and give them $5 or something. I don't know. I just don't go to strip clubs anymore, brother. You have to tell me that story later, right? But anyways, Piercy lives in Vegas now. I've often said that I love Vegas for 2 days. On the third day, I don't like it as much. On the fourth day, I just want to get the F out of there. This is a recent van life trip. I'm living in my van. I'm done with hotels. I'm done with airports. I'm done with parking at the airports. I'm done with rental cars. I bought this van. There's a bed in the back. There's a fridge. There's stoves. There's ovens. There's running water. There's plenty of heat. And I absolutely freaking love van life. So I leave from here, say goodbye to my cat. She's got cat sitters that take care of her when I'm gone, but they come here and watch her if you're concerned about that. Hit the road. I stopped in Phoenix first to see Hillary, and I've always wanted. And all of this is on the Acai TV Life show. This trip I'm talking about, the whole thing is like 3 episodes. It's airing right now, to include the stuff we did with Steven. But yeah, I've always wanted to hike the Superstition Mountains out on the outskirts of Phoenix at sunrise. I got to do that. Man, there's so much fun stuff to do in Phoenix. I'm actually thinking about taking my kid there. I got to be there in a week and a half again, anyways, to film at the Goldfield Ghost Town, which is a cool attraction up there. We just got permission to film, so I'll be doing that. And then I'm going back. I'm basically redoing this trip again, like in a couple of weeks. But then I went to Vegas to Steven's house, and Heath was there for a wedding for Chelsea Green, who's also somebody else who's going to be filming with, I believe in May. We're going to do her show about beaches and bikinis. You'll want to watch that. Yeah, hung out with Heath a little bit. I got to see Ricky from that Vegas show, which is another Acai TV show. It was just really cool to see all these people and not have to shove a camera in their face, just hang out. And met up with Steven, who I did shove a camera in his face. Hung out at his house, slept in his driveway in the van. They offered me a bed. I said, I'm good. I love my van too much. So I was out there. It was a little cold. No, you don't want to go to a strip club in Oklahoma, especially Lawton. I used to manage one there, kind of, and no, not cool. Anyway, I'm in the parking lot. We film all the stuff at his house, and then we went down to San Diego, outskirts of San Diego, in a city called Santee, San Diego, where he did a private party for a couple hundred people, and that was a blast. And he's a rock star. He's still my hero, and that was a fun trip. And then on the way home, I took the long way, went in the southern states, just like I will next week, week and a half from now, because of snow. I'm not going through them damn mountains in Colorado with this weather. Hell no. But we're going to kind of do the same thing, but next time we're going to the Whiskey in Los Angeles, and we're going to film 2 shows at the same time. One is a day in the life of type of thing called Invasion of Your Privacy, and the other one's Loving You is a Dirty Job. So that show is a new thing, and it's coming at you soon. But I had a great freaking time with those people. Just, again, it's kind of like the Heath thing. You go there first time, you're like, okay, you're Heath. Hello, you're Stephen Piercy. We got this. Cool. We know each other now. But now it's like, okay, you're Steven. Hey, Steven. I consider them friends. I hope they consider me the same thing. Number 9, best day ever in San Diego and Los Angeles. We were there to film a show called Best Day Ever that we still air with Gigi. And she was, the cool thing is usually I'll grab a host, I'll film their show, and then they'll grab the camera and film my show. Gigi, I love her to death. She's a terrible camera person. She admits to that. But I still filmed my show at this little sandwich place called Bab's Amazing Sandwiches and Burgers or something. And then I got to film at the legendary Philippe the Original in Los Angeles, which I've been back since. And I don't know what it is. It's just bread and meat, and like they dip it and then you eat it. And it's simple, but holy crap, it's just unbelievable. So if you're ever in Los Angeles, Philippe the Original, look it up, go, thank me later. But that's what I filmed. The reason this is so high on the list is for the stuff that she filmed. Yeah, we filmed a couple restaurants like in Los Angeles and San Diego. But in San Diego, we hooked up with the Sail San Diego group, which is like they take people out on yacht tours, and we did this like I felt like I was on the Rio video for Duran Duran. I'm like at the front of the boat, like holding the camera and holding on, not falling in the water, and looking at dolphins and just birds and just on the ocean, and just it was so much fun. But that wasn't even the cool part. The cool part was we went up to Los Angeles, and we filmed in another airplane. It's the first time I ever did an airplane. And the airplane went right over downtown Los Angeles, like literally this far from the buildings, and over Malibu Beach, the Hollywood Hills, the La Brea Tar Pits. I got to see we got to see and film the entire city of Los Angeles from the sky. And oh my goodness, it was just beautiful and fun and just a huge experience. And this is in the infancy of Acai TV, so we were really lucky to have that. And Gigi, we've done helicopter stuff like in Canyon City, Colorado, over the Royal Gorge. We've done helicopter tours over the Grand Canyon in Las Vegas. That's another trip I could have added. We've done a lot with Gigi, but nothing recent. I think the most recent thing we did was in Pueblo, Colorado, which is, you have to find stuff, where she did paddle boarding, and she was in a race car. Actually, it was a lot of fun. It was a really good episode. So watch Best Day Ever as well with Gigi. She's awesome, and I miss her, and I want to shoot more. Number 8, this is where all you wrestling fans start getting interested. Philadelphia, the 2300 Arena, the original ECW arena. Mike and Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett, they brought me out there to film the women's tournament. And like I told you, the final product is out now. So I was there in Baltimore filming like the first few rounds of it. And that was a fun trip, but I was basically in a hotel, COVID stuff. I was just in a hotel, always had to wear a mask, hated every second of it. But being at the arena and filming and everything was great. The women in this tournament are outstanding. Got to meet everybody in Ring of Honor. I think I made a pretty decent impression, so I hope when they're back, I get to go back and work with them. But the Philly trip, just for being at the old ECW arena, I never got to wrestle there. I always wanted to, but I got to be there with a camera in my hand instead, which is kick-ass in its own right. Of course, I love Maria. I love Mike. Again, I consider them friends. I hope they consider me the same. Mike especially. I want to talk a lot more about Mike Bennett in a minute. He's in I think the top 3, the thing that we did together. But it was just a good trip. I got to go to, get some Philly cheese. I got to walk around the city. It wasn't as much fun as it was when I did that with Garrett years earlier, which I'll talk about that later too. We got a lot left to talk about, don't we? How long is this thing going? Holy crap. Sorry if I'm keeping you up from, dinner or sex or whatever you're watching, whoever's watching. But yeah, that was a fantastic show with Ring of Honor. Had a great time at the arena, just hanging out with everybody and meeting new friends. Number 7 is the Talkin' Choppin Mania filmings. I'll just lump them both together, 1 and 2. I'm the guy that shot the behind the scenes gimmick, the documentary that's on Acai TV, and I think it's on Fight TV as well. We've been shooting the Good Brothers show with Doc Gallows, Luke Gallows, whatever the hell you want to call him, Festus, whatever. We were shooting his life story, and I think we did a pretty damn good job with it. So I'm hoping you guys get to watch that and enjoy it. I loved meeting people like Nigel Sherrod. The guy's freaking absolutely awesome. Jim Wolverton, also known as Vernon Love. Got to meet him and his son as well. I just so many cool people I got to meet. But at these through the Good Brothers show, but at the Talkin' Choppin Mania shows, if you haven't heard of it, I'm pretty sure they're still on Fight TV. I was in a fog. I was in a dream or something, because everywhere I looked, there's the Rock and Roll Express, there's Scott Steiner, there's the Powers of Pain, there's Teddy Long, there's Tommy Dreamer, there's Rhino, there's Brian Myers and Hornswoggle, and just not to mention Gallows and Anderson, and all the people that put it on. And I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm not like they're watching this, but it was just star-studded events, and it was hilarious and well done. It was so grassroots, and I had a great time shooting the behind the scenes of that. So, and that's really all I've got to say about that right now. Maybe someday we'll reconnect and do more Good Brother. I don't know. I'm not banking on it, but it's I'll just say it is what it is. Number 6, Eddie Finocchiaro. I better have said that right. filming the New York Ham show in New York City. There are so many reasons that this was. First of all, Eddie is a freaking megastar. Listen to Ham Radio, find it. Look up Eddie Finocchiero, whatever. The guy's, I saw him online and I'm like, or I listened to the radio show and I'm like, I got to work with this guy. He's a freaking character. He's just got the most amazing, addictive personality. I think I want to date him. I don't know. Maybe I do. I who knows? But I'm kidding. Maybe I'm kidding. I don't know. But we got to film at an oddities place that had its own show for a while, Obscura Oddities. We got to film at Katz's Deli, New York Penis Cakes. That's a thing. We got to film at the San Gennaro Feast, that whole big festival. And we got to film at the original St. Patrick's Cathedral and the catacombs and everything underneath. All of that, fantastic. But the really cool part was I got to reconnect with a friend after that I hadn't seen in 18 years or 17 years. My friend Heather, who went on to become a huge part of Acai TV. And to this day, we talk just about every other day. So super cool to just see her after so long and meet Eddie and film all those amazing places. And Katz's Deli, best sandwich in the world. I had Mania on that trip. And I got to go to, my first time I ever got to go to Central Park. I walked all over that son of a bitch. Walked up and down 5th and 6th. And I walked 20 miles a day up there. I got to get back to New York. And it was just so much fun. That's all I can say. I can't wait to the next trip, which will hopefully be in April. If we keep planning things and it keeps falling through, it's usually my fault. But you could also blame that whole pandemic thing because New York sucks with that. Number 5, the UFO show tapings for episodes 1 to 3. Leah was with me on that. We drove from here to Vegas, met Lita from WWE, also real name known as Amy Duma. We filmed all over Vegas at the National Atomic. It's a show about UFO culture. We filmed all the way up and down the extraterrestrial highway to include the little alien and the jerky place, and then we rebuilt the black mailbox. This is all stuff. This all happened. I know, it's like, how did this happen? Then we drove all the way down to Sedona, filmed an episode there in Arizona where we did metaphysical stuff and ate a lot of food and looked for portals and got smudged. We did so much stuff. And then we went to Roswell, got to film at the museum, got to film at all the roadside kitschy stuff, and just, it was a lot of fun getting to know Amy. She's a remarkable human being. I would love to have filmed 20 episodes since then, but very busy person, and COVID shut that shit down. So that was a lot of fun, and also a good time with Leah as well. And we filmed Go There Eat That in Vegas, I think, at a vegan taco place, which was a lot of fun. Number 4, back to Mike Bennett. If you go to Acai TV or you just look on YouTube and you look for I Love This Shit with Mike Bennett, a wrestling expedition. This is somewhat after Mike Bennett got released from WWE. Maria called me and said, I'm kicking him out of the house. I thought they were being serious, and I realized it was a joke. Mike said he wants to go wrestle. So we were just going to film an episode of the Bennetts about him just going out and finding, just going out and wrestling. But it turned into something completely different. It turned into a documentary, almost 2 hours. I booked 5 different cities for him and for wrestling nights, and booked a bunch of other stuff like the Wrestling Hall of Fame in Wichita Falls, which I think is shut down now. We did some other stuff like toy stores and signings and things like that. But not only did he fall back in love with wrestling, indie wrestling, so did I. We did seminars in most of these cities, and I got to be in the ring and be like good cop, bad cop, because I trained a bunch of wrestlers in my time, and it just brought it all out of me. And it was really a beautiful thing. That whole documentary is very beautiful, watching this guy who's been doing it for 2 decades and just fall back in love. I'm talking about Mike Bennett, fall back in love with wrestling. So it was really cool, and I had such a good time. And we did that not only during a pandemic, but during that big ice storm in Texas and Oklahoma and all that. It was nuts. Number 3 is another one I just did. It was my first trip in my van. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go out for like 10 days. It's the longest trip I ever took. And I fell in love with Buc-ee's. That's all I can say about that trip. That's one of the things. I stopped at every Buc-ee's that I saw. I actually have the whole, I was debating whether or not to wear it, the whole uniform with you've probably seen pictures. where I'm dressed like a beaver. But anyway, my first stop was in Lawton, Oklahoma. I hadn't been there since Dave died, and without Dave there, without the wrestling company there, all I have is memories there, and scattered friends. But Dave was the main reason. We'd go there and record music and hang out, have a beer, eat some steaks. He's been my best friend since we met in Korea, and losing him is one of the hardest things imaginable. He's left me with a wealth of music to put vocals over, and I don't have him next to me to tell me I suck and redo it. So it's been really hard. It's been 2 years now, and I freaking hate it that he's not here anymore. I hate it. I freaking hate it. But when he did pass away, I could not go, man. I couldn't go. It made no sense to me. He's 2 years older than me. Like I said, we talked constantly for 21 years when we weren't together. I couldn't go. My heart was there, but I just could not deal with it. 2 years later, I got on Fort Sill, which was cool. I hadn't been on Fort Sill since I've been stationed there, and I got out of the Army in 2001. So it was really cool to see all the old barracks and all the old fort and everything. And all this, by the way, is also on the Acai TV Life show. Just go back a few episodes. And it was really cool because I got to stay in my van, got to live in the van, but I got to visit Dave's grave, and it just didn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense. I hated it. I kind of glad I went, but it's whatever. Got to see his wife, who I had not seen in the same amount of time. And that's beautiful. I missed her too. I didn't realize how much I missed her. She's not over it. Never will be. Her grief is like mine times 10. Dave was her everything, but I don't want to go too far on this. I got to see the house, got to go into the room where we recorded all of our stuff, and it was wonderful. It really was. After that, and another Buc-ee's trip between that, I'm sure. I got to see another friend, John, and just, a few things here and there. We stopped in Wichita Falls, ate at Taco Bueno, which is my favorite taco fast food restaurant. Then I went down to Dallas to see my old stand-up comedy, my old best friend, Mike Barrett in Dallas. He's one of those guys, man, where he was my best friend. We did stand-up comedy, karaoke type stuff for years together and in Detroit. And then he moved away, and then, how friendships go. But he's that kind of person where as soon as I see him, we're best friends again. I'm so happy that he's still doing good, doing great. Looks good. He's one of the best bass players in the history of bass players. And just rekindling that friendship means everything to me. So you can see why this trip is so high on the list. It's number 3, I think it is. Yeah. And that's not even like where I didn't go for. Oh, here's the funny thing. The next day I stayed at Mike's house. The next morning I got up, said goodbye, gave him a hug. Love you, brother. Drove all the way overnight, 9 hours to Pensacola, Florida. Pulled over to Pensacola, Florida to take a nap and make something to eat. My little travel stove. It's really cool. It looks like a lunchbox. You plug it in, cooks your food. It's wonderful. Looking around, and this is the funniest, most brutal thing that's on the Acai TV Live show that's out here on YouTube. I just start going, oh no. I left my camera bag at Mike's house in Dallas. I couldn't make this up. So after trying to figure out any other way to do it, turned the van around, drove 9 hours back to Dallas, got there at 3 a.m, and I'm exhausted. I stayed at Mike's again, grabbed my camera bag, turned the van around, drove all the way back to Pensacola. Actually, I skipped Pensacola, went straight to Tampa. That was the second dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life. If you want to know what the first dumbest thing is, watch the Acai TV Life, because I mention it quite a bit, and you see the result of my dumbest thing. Anyways, got to Tampa, met up with Evilise, who's wrestling superstar Evilise. We have a show with her as well called Evilise. She's wonderful. I got to swim with manatees. We got to go do a bunch of dog stuff, dog beach, a dog bar. Got to go shoot to a shooting range indoor. She's wonderful. Watch her show. It's a lot of fun. I think we have like 4 episodes of it now. After Evilise, went down to Ryzen, AEW Superstar Ryzen, who I've known for almost a decade and a half now, because he worked for me with my wrestling company forever. And I just love Ryzen. He's a genuine guy. And we started filming a show called Bad People, Bad, always hard for me to say, Bad People, Bad Places, Bad Things. And we filmed the Devil's Chair in Casadega, Florida, and the Lake Helen Cemetery. We filmed all the locations for serial killer Eileen Wuornos, in the bar, the murder spots, and the hotel, and all that stuff. Look it all up; it's awesome. Watch the episodes. And then I got invited to Thanksgiving with Ryzen and his friends and family. It meant a lot to me. I usually spend Thanksgiving alone. My son has a huge family on his mom's side. I would never rob him of that. So my mom and the rest of my family's in Detroit. I live in Colorado. Usually I just get work done. Ooh, I hiccuped. And I'm usually, alone, and it's fine. It's not a thing for me. I don't care about that so much, but it was really nice to just have dinner and meet all these new people and some old faces that I knew, and play Cards Against Humanity. It was so cool, man. I stayed in his driveway for a couple of nights. Then, like I said earlier, I got to reconnect with Aeon Cruz and her daughter, Ayana Cruz. We filmed at a macaron place and a rolled ice cream place for 2 new episodes of Too Sweet, which is a show we've been doing for years and years and years, but we haven't done one for like 4 years. Her mom and I, broke up and didn't talk for 4 years. So it's just really cool to have both of them as friends anymore. They're both superstars. I love them to death, and I'm so glad to be just in, we're all in the good graces again. So that's really, really cool. Another thing I learned on this trip, you can stay overnight at Cracker Barrel. And then I learned on the Piercy Vegas trip that you can stay overnight in a van at Camping World. So Camping World is my number one now because it's nice and quiet and unpopulated. Cracker Barrel is my number 2 because it never lets you down. And number 3, you can go to a Walmart or just park in front of somebody's house if you have to. If you're a van lifer, now you know. Anyways, if we get any more comments, everybody leave me. Yeah, Dave. Yeah, it sucked. Look up his music though, One Eyed Buffalo on iTunes and Apple Music and all that stuff. Pay him tribute just by listening. Number two is the first Acai TV trip that I ever took, and I was with Garrett Kuhn. We rented a car. I don't know why I didn't rent a van. I didn't know about this stuff back then. This is back in 2015. My God, it's 6 years already. That's crazy. 7 years since we started, 6 years since this trip. No, 2015 was 7 years ago. That's insanity. Anyways, this was an 8-day trip. Me and Garrett in a car, best friends, just no arguments, no getting on each other's nerves that I'm aware of. Maybe I got on his nerves, but I love Garrett. We went from Colorado to St. Louis, where we filmed a new show called Go There Eat That, and we filmed at in a prison that turned into a barbecue joint. So it was, or a jail, a police station turned into a barbecue joint called Capitalist Pig. That was awesome. We went to Chicago. We filmed at Lou Malnati's Pizza on State Street, which was unbelievable. We went to Detroit, filmed at Lafayette Coney in Detroit, where I've been eating for 40 plus years now. Loved it. Big honor to film there. We went to Philadelphia, where we filmed at Ishkabibbles cheesesteaks. Unbelievable. And we both fell in love with Philadelphia, the history of the place. Plus, it was gay pride. We just met all these amazing people. So it was a lot of fun. Then we went to Washington, D.C., filmed some Angry Show stuff. My first time in D.C., it's really overwhelming when it's your first time, just seeing all these iconic buildings and stuff. And you're like, wow, I'm here. And then we got hit with a monsoon, which was a lot of fun. And then we went to New York City, where we filmed at Katz's Deli. Had some audio problems with that, but it's still a great episode. My first taste of a pastrami sandwich at Katz's Deli, which was life-changing. We did some touristy stuff. I got out of there pretty quickly. And then we went down to Washington, D.C. Then we went to Nashville to film at Monell's. If you're anywhere near Nashville, go to Monell's. Let me say that again. If you're anywhere near Nashville, go to Monell's. It's wonderful. Go to the location in Germantown. It's unbelievable. Then we went to New Orleans. That was a great trip, man. My first time in New Orleans. We filmed at Guy's Po' Boys. This is all for Go There Eat That. This is the first 8 places. Then we almost didn't go to San Antonio. because of a hurricane in Houston, but we made it, and I'm so glad we did, because that's where we met Chella from Chella's Tacos, or Celia from Chella's Tacos, who to this day I love and stay in touch with, and I can't wait to go back. Some of the best food, only matched by the hospitality and the personality of the people that work there. Luciano, all of them, just amazing people. We filmed there 3 times since, and every time I go is just better and better. So love them. And then we went home, and that was our first ever ASY TV road trip. It was just me and Garrett. So many memories made, and that's what this whole thing is about. Memories made, stories told. And number one, actually either one of those could have been number one, but the number one road trip for ASY TV, in my opinion, is the first time I got to meet Stephen Piercy in LA. He was living in LA at that time, so we met outside of the Culver City DMV, because that's where his first practice pad was with Rat. And I got to meet Christy Adair as well, who's got a wonderful story of her own. And the first photo shoot they ever did was like at this mural of weird stuff on the side of the DMV, which was just cool. So I'm filming there. I'm filming her phone with the old pictures. It's just so cool. And this is all for the documentary Nothing to Lose. Then we went to Rat Mansion West, is what it was called, this rundown apartment complex where they used to party and do after show parties. Every rock star you ever known was at Rat Mansion West, partying with them after gigs. The next day we went down to San Diego and filmed his freaking house where he grew up. He doesn't live there now. He was a total stranger. He knocks on the door. Hey, how you doing? And this lady's like, oh, hi. And he's like, I'm Stephen Piercy from Rat. This was my mom's house. This is where I grew up. This is where I first picked up a guitar. This is where my accident happened, where he got ran over a car on his bike. Watch Nothing to Lose. I'm telling you. None of this stuff was scripted, okay? None of this stuff was like, hey, you should do this. Hey, come to the door. Hey, none of it. This is just me trying to catch stuff. I'm a fly in the wall. That's how I work. And I think it really comes off really good. We got to go to the original Mickey Rat drummer, John Turner's house, who I hear is in bad health right now. And fingers are crossed for him. But just getting to see those iconic places and learn the story that I didn't even know. I've been a Rat fan since Rat was a band. So it meant so much to me. Just lived a little bit of a childhood dream there. Screw the childhood part, just a dream in general. So much fun. And then we went up to another thing that just made it. And here's the thing: in between all the filming with Steven, Heather, who was with me, we're filming at Frank and Son's toy show, which is this huge toy store, like enormous Walmart-sized toy shop. We went to Funko Hollywood. We did the whole Hollywood Walk of Fame, did just all the touristy stuff. We found a bunch of cool restaurants and just had a freaking blast. And Heather had a huge part in making this trip happen, the main part of making this trip happen. So I'm just blown away by that trip. I'm sorry, I'm getting text message after text message after message after. It's a little annoying. But anyways, the coolest part, we go back to his house, and I'm in Steven's office, all his gold records and platinum records on the walls, and just he's playing guitar. He's listening to my music. I'm listening to unreleased Rat stuff, and it's, again, sometimes it's not cool to meet your idols, meet your heroes, but in this case, it was really cool. Got all the interviews and stuff done, and then the next day was even awesomer, because we went to the freaking whiskey again, much like the ECW arena. I never got to wrestle there, but I got to hold a camera and document it and work there. I always wanted to play the whiskey. I always wanted to sing at the whiskey. And you know what? I never got a chance to, but I did it with a camera. There you go. I'm living my dreams in a different way, and I'm totally cool with it. I'm on the stage with Steven, with the band, with Eric, Jerry Montano, Eric Faranitos. Did I say it wrong? Sorry, Eric. Scotty Coogan, and Frankie Wilsey, and Christy was there, of course, and Steven, and just the history, having full access to the Whiskey A Go-Go on Sunset Strip was just so cool. I filmed their live stream. I did like a behind the scenes thing. Watch Nothing to Lose. Go watch the damn thing. Get ASY TV already. What are you doing? I know you want it by now, just hearing all these stories, but especially for this, go get it. And then after the concert, went down to the Rainbow, another place. I've been there plenty of times, but just a place I should have been there. I should have been in that scene. I was too young, but I should have been there. And just having full access to that place when it was shut down. They're like, yeah, come on in, film whatever you want. I'm like, okay, this place is iconic to me. You know, threaten me with a good time. But yeah, that was my number one, hanging out with Steven, filming Nothing to Lose in Los Angeles. And thank you, Heather, for all. You know, thank you to everybody. Thank you to Heather for making things happen. Thank you to Garrett and Leah for being there with me on the road. Gigi, Chantel, Ryzen, the Aeons, Evilise, Laura. Oh, you know what? When I was in Florida, I got to reconnect with one of my favorite people in the world, and I totally forgot. Laura Diorsi. She's done a lot of stuff. And oh, that's the one I forgot. Damn, I'm gonna do a bonus one. I did a trip to Atlanta for Go There Eat That, and we also went down to Cocoa Beach and Jacksonville. And Laura was my camera person, and we've known each other for a while. We very much love each other as people, and she's amazing. She's still amazing. I talked to her just a couple days ago. But anyways, I hadn't seen her for years, and on the Florida trip, which was number whatever, I got to reconnect with her in Jacksonville as well. Got to go back to BB's Bistro and all that stuff. And just, we had a really fun couple days just hanging out, thrift shopping, doing fun stuff. And sorry, I forgot. I didn't forget. I just, you see my handwriting? It's, yeah. When I'm trying to get through this stuff, yeah, I just skipped over it and I feel like an asshole. So sorry about that. But yeah, all of you that have taken place on any of these tours, my son, my daughter, Hillary. If I forgot, I'm sorry. Don't get mad at me. But all the places we got to film, thank you. All of the people we got to tell their stories, thank you. And everybody who's ever helped and held a camera, thank you. And everybody who got to watch this whole thing. I don't even know how long this was. Sorry, I went long, but thank you for watching. And get ASY TV, man. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. It's only $5 a month, less than a cup of coffee, 17 cents a day, people. 2.0 version's coming. It's going to rock your world. Loving You is a Dirty Job with Stephen Piercy, the new, I hate the words reality TV, but the new docu-series, that's coming out. Chelsea Green's going to be in May. There's so many new things that are just waiting on these computers. Super Ultra Mega Con is coming to Colorado Springs. Get your tickets now. Yeah, it's been a fun run, man. And you know what the funny thing is? It's just getting started. Thanks. See you guys later.